So I'm here at Liberty Sculpture Park. This is a park here in California going towards Las Vegas. And they have a lot of interesting sculptures and things. It's a very hilly mound. But I'm going to kind of drive through and show you all what the different sculptures are. So it has a lot to do with the Communist Party in China. But yeah, let's drive by and kind of show you all what some of the attractions here are. So sorry I gotta drive. It's just incredibly windy. And this terrain, as you can see, is really not the best. But I'm coming up to some sculptures here, so just please be patient with me. I promise there'll be some really cool things to see. Thank you guys for watching my channel. I know you got other things you could do, and I appreciate it. Okay, so number one here, we've got, there's a tank right here that we can see. And what's interesting, as we pull up, we've got another tank, and so obviously this guy is standing in front of the tank. He looks like an everyday worker, and he's opposing the communist regime, which is represented here by this tank. Okay, then there's another giant sculpture here that says 64, if you can see that. And on this sculpture here, it's got something that says, "Give me liberty or give me death." So I guess that's supposed to quote unquote be like the Statue of Liberty, to have liberty and freedom. And these are, as you can see, poor people affected by the Communist Party, and they just want freedom. And that's what this giant statue, you can see the tanks, the war, it's just not good. And you've got this giant sculpture sitting right here. Okay. As I drive on, I'm gonna try to drive real slow. There's some people here. See, I don't want to get in there way too much here, but let me see if I could show you all this. So when I pull here, this is a Liberty Bell. There we go. We've got a Liberty Bell here, and there's a little plaque, and it says the Liberty Sculpture Park Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization based in California, dedicated to the building of a large-scale public park in the small town of Yermo. This is in the Mojave Desert. The Liberty Sculpture Park spans nearly 40 acres. And here you've got the Liberty Bell right here. Okay, let's go on. This one, to me, this sculpture coming up was by far the most memorable, just because of how gruesome it is. And this is a monument dedicated for the victims of communism. So when you pull up here, you can see they got the giant communist flag, and then you've got all these skeletons that represent all the millions of lives lost from the Communist Party. And then you've got a gentleman or a lady here trying to escape what's basically death. And that's a pretty wild looking monument when you look at that. I mean, that's kind of hard to forget. I mean, look at all those skeleton. I mean, that's, whoever did that definitely put some work into that. It's definitely very memorable. So rest in peace to all those who've passed away due to communism. As I drive on here, I'm trying to drive real slow, just because, as you guys can see, it is so the terrain here is so bad. You almost need like a off-roading vehicle for this type of area. But let's take a look here. Please be patient with me, guys. I'm trying my best to film this. I try to do it earlier when walking, but it's just it's very windy, it's very dry right now. But here we have a lady who's got her neck in a chain. Right here we've got a lady whose neck is in a chain. And this is also here at the park. This is one of the sculptures here. So it's like she's enchained to the communism. It's very sad. Let's continue on here. Got all sorts of people just coming here to take a look. I don't know what this sculpture is up here, but it looks like it's a giant hand with like a blowtorch. Not 100% sure. Maybe I'll do some research on what that is, but it's a very interesting piece here, and this is here at the park as well. Yeah. So let's continue on, see what else we have here. All right. This one I thought was also really interesting. This one coming up here that I'm going to show you all. I didn't know what it was at first, and I had to really look into it. So there's a car right there. So let me go around it as best as I can. Okay, so this is a representation of the coronavirus. So basically over here, what it says, I'll kind of zoom in. It says the sculpture was created after the Chinese Communist Party's covered up the spread of the Wuhan virus. So this is remembering how they hid this. So you see you have half of like a Chinese man's face and the other half is a virus. On the other side right here, you actually have the communist flag. So this is kind of like showing how they hid that information. As I continue on here, this is another monument remembering the coronavirus. It has the CCP virus here, and then it has like a map of the COVID-19 virus. So let's see some of the other monuments here. Here it goes here. That's what we just saw there. It's kind of showing what that is about. This one's really interesting here. I was reading, so this monument here was dedicated to a doctor who, I guess, he was a whistleblower. That's why there's a whistle at the top. He was a whistleblower regarding the coronavirus, and then he died at age 35. But I guess the Chinese Communist Party didn't want him saying anything. They made him hush, but he leaked information, and so this monument was dedicated to what he did. That's why it has a whistle, because he was a whistleblower. Let's take a look at some of the other pieces here that we got. This is also another piece remembering the different soldiers who passed away fighting for their freedom. So here you've got a shark. So basically, like, people were willing to risk their lives in waters just to escape communism. And then over here you've got like this ocean wave. So these are the people who try to escape by sea, as you can see here. And then as you come here, there's all sorts of interesting images here. Like here it says, say no to communism, boycott made in China, communism kills, better dead than red, free Hong Kong revolution now. So it's very, very, very interesting. Whoever set this all up was very dedicated, because some of these monuments are very, very impressive. Some of them are very sad. Here we got this one here. This one I'm going to show you all right here was the most was the most detailed to me. Let me pull my phone over this way, show you all. So this one was one of the most detailed ones that I saw here at this place. So it's right here. Righty. So this statue here. So this gentleman, here, you know what? Let me kind of get closer so I can read it to you all who he is. And I'm so sorry if I mispronunciate the names. Some of you are going to probably think, what is he doing? But I'm trying my best to say these. I should probably do some more research how to say things. But his name was Ling Wangang. Basically, he was spent 22 years in jail, serving 2 sentences for his involvement in promoting democracy in China in 1989, which wasn't long ago. As a result, he was tortured. He suffered time in jail. He became blind and deaf. So he was assassinated by the Chinese Communist Party in 2012. He was found dead. He was hung. So it's pretty wild, but he was willing to endure all this. And he said, you know, behead me if you must, was one of his quotes, because he'd rather die than live as a slave to the Communist Party. So pretty wild to think, you know, there's Americans who want to be communists, and it's like, you have no clue. You'd be the first to be killed. You'd be the first one in the chamber, or you'd be the first one in the gulags. So, but this is yeah, this is the sculpture park here. This is in California. This is as you're heading towards Las Vegas. That's why it's so deserty. And they've got all sorts of images and different things here. There's another one here of soldiers seeking freedom, as you can see here. You can see this woman's kind of leading the charge. Yeah, it's pretty wild to think. I'll have to do some more research on all of this just to get it more in depth, but I hope you all kind of enjoyed it. And here's some of the other images here. Sorry I had to do it in my car. I wish I could have did more on foot, but it's windy, it's really dry, and their spacing between each image is quite a bit. So I hope you all enjoyed it.